Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ron Taylor, Murray Street, Mission. Following Rafe Mayor, I'm almost tempted to say long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm also very nervous about following him because I'm going to disagree significantly with what he said, and I am more than painfully aware that my communication abilities are not up to his. I'm sorry that we got into the discussion of an individual, but the accusation was made that that individual's termination was done for certain reasons. And that cannot be allowed to stand without challenge. It's when somebody is terminated from a position, there are always two stories, whether that's from the Ministry of the Environment or from a radio station. It makes no difference. Let's talk about Dr. Rosenau. First of all the references to Silvermere are totally irrelevant. Let's be very clear, Silvermere is not part of this development. It is not part of the, if you saw the illustration of the full 3,400 acres of land that form the later possible phase of this development, Silvermere is not part of that either. So let's get that clear. Secondly, let's look at the question of Dr. Rosenau. I hate to say what I am about to say, but I'm going to say it. He is not credible. He does not act as a scientist. He makes decisions without visiting sites. He makes conclusions without scientific evidence. He acts as an advocate, not as a scientist. And I hear people behind contradicting me on this, and I heard the...
He's out of order, Mr. Mayor.
I heard the word...
Somebody who's not here to defend himself, he's out of order.
Order, please. Mr. Mortimer, if you conduct yourself that way, I'll move you out of this building and you... None of before. Watch me.
Boo!
Watch me. Mr. Mortimer, it's directed to you.
Can we start the clock again, please?
Can we start the clock again for you? You watch me if you don't conduct yourself.
3 more.
Favoritism.
I beg your pardon, start it again for the first.
Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm gonna ask you order, please. Order.
I didn't intend to cause that amount of chaos, and perhaps I should have qualified my remarks at the beginning to point out that those criticisms I made of Dr. Rosenau were not my words. They were the words of the Honourable Judge J.J. Lenahan in a case where Dr. Rosenau was a witness, and they are exact quotations. So when I hear people behind talking about slander, remember, if you're going to bring an action for slander, you're going to be bringing it against a High Court judge, so good luck. The reality is that in that particular case, that case went on for 4 years, cost the department millions of dollars, and in the end the department lost the case. I know nothing, and I'll be the first one to admit, I know nothing, and in fact, in truth, Mr. Mayor knows nothing of the circumstances of the dismissal of Dr. Rosenau. But I would suggest to any fair-minded person, costing the department billions of dollars in a case that they finally lost, and getting those criticisms from the judge, are every bit as likely to be the grounds as those that we've been given. Now, if I can return to the question of the development itself. I stood here about, well, in fact, up there where you are, about 4 or 5 years ago, and vigorously opposed the original OCP change for Genstar. I make no apologies for that. I was absolutely right in doing it. That application was premature. It was actually completely unnecessary. There was no need for that action, and there'd been no public consultation. And I opposed that. And I remember after 9 very difficult nights, finally I lost. Myself and Councillor Stevens voted against this. We both lost the vote. In a democracy, when you lose, you have 2 choices. You can go away and have a hissy fit and sulk, or you can decide to be constructive and see how best you can move on. Well, I made a choice to go away and sulk and have a hissy fit. For about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then I decided, well, what can we get out of this that is constructive? And I tried to set up dialogue, a number of initiatives which council supported but which didn't work, to try and set up a dialogue between the proponents and the opponents, which would have been the best way of doing this. That didn't work, I failed. Then MPAC came along, and I joined MPAC and served on MPAC for a year. And I learned certain things. In the first place, there were the MPAC worked well, and certain things emerged from this. $3 million worth of studies on that area. Each one of those studies peer-reviewed. And before anybody makes the accusation of the peer review being in some way defective, the peer reviewers were selected by council, paid for by council, and council then billed Genstar for the amount. These people were not in any way in the employ of Genstar. MPAC produced a plan, and it was MPAC's plan. Make no mistake, this wasn't the developer's plan. The developer had many parts of that plan he did not like. It was not the consultant's plan. The consultants came in here with a cookie-cutter plan, and MPAC pushed back and said no. And this plan was produced by, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it was produced by a people of mission. It's not perfect. Are there things in it that I would rather were not there? Yes. Are there things not there that I would rather were there? Yes. I'm a slow learner, but in more than 60 cases on this earth, I've learned that you don't always get what you want.